If you've ever wondered how to get that flawless sculpt look without looking cakey, this underpainting technique is about to change your makeup game. Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Sharni, and in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through my step-by-step underpainting a routine on my client today. She's getting ready for prom, so let's get into this makeup glam. First things first, underpainting starts with a smooth, hydrated base. So I started off by cleansing my client's skin. Then I'm going in with the It Cosmetics Barrier Boost Repair Moisturizer to bring that moisture back into her skin. And then I took the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Foundation Primer. This is one of my top favorite primers in my makeup collection, you guys, because it literally grips the product and also gives it a nice smooth base. Skin prepping and hydration is key to keeping all the cream layers looking skin light and not too heavy. You want that glow from within to shine through. So make sure you are prioritizing the skin prepping routine before going in with your products. Now let's get into the fun part. This is where the underpainting begins. So first things first, I'm starting with her contour, a cream contour in the hollows of her cheeks, her forehead, and her jawline. We are going to contour her nose, but I'm going to do that a little later. Now this creates that dimension before we apply the foundation. Now I also want to mention I am editing and doing this voiceover, so I don't have the exact shades and products in front of me, but check down below in my description box for all the product details and the shades down below, y'all. So I'm going to start off by blending her cream contour out first. Now this step is optional. You can go in with the cream highlight or you can do the blush first. I have been loving this technique when by applying the cream blush first and then going over it with the cream highlight. So I'm going in with the cream blushes from Juvia's Place. I cannot think of the shade. I believe I use shade Barbie Rose, but check down below just to be on the safe side. And I'm going in and I'm blending her blush all the way out first. So next I'm layering her cream highlight on the high points of her face. So middle of her chin, above her lip, middle of her forehead, the bridge of her nose, and underneath her eyes. Going in with the Milk Makeup Setting Mist Spray to bring that moisture back into her skin. And this also helps with blending and just giving that skin light finish. Now, listen up, girls. Blending is everything. It can make or break your client's makeup look. So you want to make sure you are taking your time with blending the product out. As always, I love to let that concealer sit and dry down just a tad bit before going right in and blending it. So I'm taking that same brush that I used to blend out her blush, and I'm using the other side of that I'm using the other side of that brush to blend out her concealer. I also want to mention I am using tapping motions, and also if you struggle with creases and streaks, you can also go in with a powder puff or a damp beauty blender to give it that nice smooth base finish. Also, throughout this blending process, you guys are going to see me go back and forth with my foundation brush because I am going to be blending those harsh lines out. You do not want to leave those harsh lines out. You want to blend those harsh lines to get that nice smooth transition between the products, because when you go in and set it with the powder, it's going to show exactly how you blend it out. So that's why I said blending is key. You want to make sure you're blending the product out thoroughly and really good to the point where when you go in and set it with the powder, it's going to set beautifully. So like I mentioned, to help with those creases and those extra streaks from the brush, you can go in with a powder puff like I'm doing right here to really get underneath her eyes, because I do not want any creasing. Okay, I want that under eye base to be as smooth as possible. So I'm taking my powder puff and just really going underneath her eyes and blending that product out. I'm gonna go in with one more spray from that same spray, and then we're gonna go in with her foundation. Now here is the game changer. Okay, I'm using a light layer of foundation on top of the contour and the highlight, just really 1 to 2 pumps, buff in lightly, and this tones everything down without erasing all of that dimension we just built. When I tell y'all this is a game changer, I am so obsessed with this technique. It doesn't feel cakey. It does not look not cakey. To mention the amount of product that I only had to use with the foundation. I'm so impressed by this technique, y'all. Like, I don't have to really use so much of my foundation, and I love that. So right here, I'm going back in with that cream highlighter, and I'm going to go back in and highlight the inner corners of her eyes just to brighten them up just a tad bit. And I also went in and re-highlighted the middle of her nose and then right above her lip. And I'm going in with my powder puff to blend that concealer out. Come on now, like, let's get into the base. Like, it looks so flawless already, y'all, and we have not even set it with powder yet. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. So right here, I'm going in and contouring her nose with that same concealer shade that we use to contour her jawline and her cheeks. So I'm going in with my eyeshadow brush and I'm blending that product all the way down on the sides of her nose into her brows. Okay, so now that everything's blended and balanced, it's time to lock it in. So first, I'm going in with a pressed powder. Now, a pressed powder is perfect for setting the makeup in place without adding too much product. So I'm using my powder puff to lightly press it into the areas, especially the areas that crease easily, like under the eyes, around the nose, and the smile lines. Using a pressed powder first before a loose powder has so many pro level benefits that makes a huge difference in the final look and the wear of your client's makeup. Not only that, but it's literally the perfect technique for long lasting makeup, y'all. I also love going in with pressed powders first because it's more compact and it's less dusty. It adds a thin controlled layer, y'all, so it helps prevent the cakiness before going in with loose powder. So pretty much by setting the skin first with pressed powder, it helps create a smooth surface so loose powder doesn't stick unevenly or grab onto the moist areas, especially under the eyes and around the nose, because sometimes I feel like it creates that creasy look when you go straight in with a loose powder. So I love to go in with the pressed powder first because it really helps control creases. Also, it helps with flashback, y'all. So applying pressed powders before can reduce the risk of flashback before loose powders, especially under the eyes, by creating that soft buffer layer. So if you haven't tried applying pressed powders before a loose powder, I want you to give it a try on yourself. Now, I did go in with 2 shades of pressed powder. I went in with a lighter shade pressed powder for like all the highlighted areas of her face, so everywhere that we highlighted, and then I went in with another pressed powder that was closer to her skin tone, and I applied that pressed powder to all the areas that we did not highlight. So now that those areas are set in place, I'm switching to a loose setting powder to bake. So right here I'm using the Laura Mercier loose setting powder. Loose powders are finer and more lightweight, making them ideal for baking because they absorb the excess oils and they really lock in the base, especially for long wear like weddings, hot weather. In this case, it was hot outside, and also in this case, my girl is going to prom, so she needs her face to be long lasting and stuck all night looking flawless. Okay, so again, girls, press first, loose second, because it helps prevent creasing, keeps your glam in place, and it still lets your skin breathe. So right here I am going in with a powder blush powder, the Juvia's Place blush powder. I'm setting her blush areas, and then right here I am taking her foundation powder and I'm just lightly going over the pressed powder and just setting the rest of her face, because like I said, we are in the warm weather months, so I want to make sure she doesn't get oily. So I am really packing her skin with powders, but her face does not feel cakey, and this does not give that cakey feel. But like I said, this is very ideal for not only hot weathers but just those events that really ensures that you want your face to last all night. You don't want your makeup to move, okay? And in this case, like I said, my girl is going to prom, so I want to make sure she's set in place, and she was also taking pictures this day outside. So yeah, we got to make sure she is set in place and her makeup is not moving anywhere. I'm going in with another loose powder. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm going underneath her eyes, and I'm going to bake because we're going to be doing her eyeshadow, and I don't want any fallout messing up her foundation process, her face. So yeah, I'm going in with that loose powder, and I am setting underneath her eyes, middle of her chin, and the bridge of her nose. So while her face is baking, let's go ahead and move on to her eye glam. So I'm super excited to be showing you guys this eye makeup today because I really challenged myself. I really stepped outside the box with this eye makeup glam. She showed me her dress. Her dress was silver, so I wanted to give her a nice pop on the eye. So I'm going in with the NYX brow gel first to lay her brows down. And instead of going in with a brow gel, I'm going in with the NYX. This is a, I don't want to say this is an eyeliner, but I believe this is a eyeliner, and like one of those eyeliner pens. And I'm going in and I'm just touching up her brows because she already has very defined thick brows, so I didn't want to go in with a brow pomade to fill in her brows. I thought that this technique would be better and it would give her that nice natural what's the word I'm looking for, like those natural brows that doesn't look painted on, if you get what I'm saying, like those 2016 brows. I wanted her brows to give that natural look, as if her hairs are, you know, yeah, I can't even explain it, but y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? But yes, I'm going in with this liner pen and just creating those hair-like strokes on her brows, and then I'm going to clean her brows up using 2 different shades of concealer. Now, I do have a more detailed video explaining. Actually, I don't. I'm going to give y'all a brow tutorial soon, but if you've been watching my makeup tutorials, and you guys know I go in with 2 different shades for my client's brows. So I take a lighter shade on the outer corners, the outer corners of, that's not even the word I'm looking for, the outer points of my client's brow, and then I go in with a darker shade towards the inner corners of my client's brows, and I blend those two shades together, and then I'm going to blend that out. This is like my favorite technique because I don't know, I don't like those 2016 brows to where it's super highlighted underneath and on the top. I'm just not here for it, okay? So this is the brow technique that I have been sticking with for so long now, okay? So I'm blending that concealer all over her eyelid because we want a even base, okay? Now you can use eyeshadow primer, or you can use concealer as the eyeshadow primer, okay? So for her transition color, for the first shade, I'm going in, it was actually a brown, but on camera it looks like a burgundy, like reddish brown. So I'm going in with like this reddish brown shade. This is like her transition color. And then for her eye makeup, I'm going in with a angled brush, and I'm creating like this cat eye type of look. So I'm going in and drawing like this liner. I went in, this is not black eyeshadow, this is like a dark chocolate shade eyeshadow shade. So I'm going in and creating the cat eye effect, and I was just honestly going with the vibe, y'all. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just really vibing out and going with the vibe. So I'm blending that out, and I'm just going to keep repeating this step until it is to my liking. So I'm going to clean up this design by taking some concealer and a super skinny concealer brush, and I'm going to lightly carve out that design and pretty much create that cut crease. And then I'm going to take a clean brush and blend that concealer out. Now once that is done, I'm going in with this loose silver pigment. It's super pretty, and I'm going to apply that right on top of where we cleaned and carved out her cut crease. Now, I also noticed how she had silver rhinestones in her hair, and of course her dress is silver, and also y'all, she has silver highlights, which I thought was so fly and so cute. So I decided to go in and add just a few silver rhinestones to really complete her eye makeup and just give it that extra little razzle dazzle. So now I'm just cleaning up the top of her brows, and I'm going to blend that out with my foundation brush. Now I'm adding the finishing touches to her eyes. I'm going in with the NYX eyeliner, black eyeliner, applying that right on her waterline. And then I'm going to take my angle brush and go in with a brown eyeshadow shade and just smooth and buff out that shade right underneath that black eyeliner. Taking her foundation powder, I'm going to go ahead and blend out her entire face and just pretty much dust that powder away. Oh yeah, at this point we're just adding the finishing touches to her face. I'm also setting her nose contour because I forgot to set it with powder, so that's what y'all see me doing right here. And like I said, I'm just dusting away that powder, going in with her foundation powder and just really patting that excess powder away. I just want to highlight and mention that her face looks so freaking good. Like, oh my gosh, I think I want to really maybe start doing this technique on all of my clients, y'all. Like, I love this. Like, it looks so flawless. I also added some pressed setting powder to kind of set underneath her eyes, and then I'm touching up her blush. And then once we're done touching up the blush, I'm going in with some mascara at the bottom of her lashes. And of course, she already has lashes on, so we did not have to go in and apply any lashes. I'm going in with the Morphe Setting Mist Spray to kind of break down that powdery look. And then for her lips, I kept it very simple. Y'all know the basics, the brown lip liner with the nude in the middle. So I did go in with the basic lip combo, and then I topped it with some pink gloss. And then I also went in and retouched up her beauty mark. You guys are going to see that in a little bit. And also I went in and added just a tad bit of shimmer, highlighter shimmer to the button of her nose. And for her setting spray, I went back in with the Morphe setting mist, and then I topped it with the one side setting spray because, like I said, I need my girl face to be stuck all night. Okay, and this is pretty much the final look, y'all. I love how this makeup glam came out. I mean, it's eating down. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of today's makeup look. I am super obsessed, and she absolutely loved it. And let me know if you've never tried underpainting. Let me know if you're going to try it, because I highly recommend you guys give it a try. And yeah, my girl came together. Look at this look, period, flawless. So I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you made it all the way through. Stay tuned for more because, girl, I am cooking up. So I love y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Ciao.